So we'll be just initiating with one small video of impetus of investment in India.
Okay.
You can very well see the screen now. Let's start. We are live. Welcome audience to today's webinar. Thanks for joining the webinar series of Cretum Advisory on emerging theme Impetus for Investment in India. In the webinar series, we are capturing the views of industry leaders, international partners, ambassadors, bureaucrats, and policy experts on the emerging theme of investment in India coupled with Make in India. I'm the host for today, Kapil Mahani, CEO and co-founder of Cretum Advisory, which is a multidisciplinary firm in India. In this series, we will be covering all aspects of investment into India, from manufacturing to service sector, from the potential investors. We will also be discussing about the central and state incentives currently or proposed to be offered to boost the local manufacturing and also attract foreign investment into the country. In the part 2 of the web series, we have with us Mr. Vijay Goel, who is the chairman of Indo-European Business Forum and also a member of various other business community. He is the senior partner from London office of Singhania Company. He's also was the former chairman from the London Chamber of Commerce Asian Business Association. He was also the past advisor to Prime Minister of Malta and Deputy Prime Minister of UK. Thank you, Mr. Vijay, for coming to this platform and giving your valuable time. It's our pleasure to welcome you on behalf of entire Cretum Advisory and India.
Thank you.
So, since I personally tell you, to the audience that Mr. Vijay, I have not seen any picture which has been missed with Mr. Vijay, from Sachin Tendulkar to Honorable Prime Minister of India to any minister who is into the limelight of India, or from Queen Elizabeth. From every person I have seen the pictures with Mr. Vijay. So it's actually our honor to see you live from London. It's thanks, Mr. Vijay ji. So without taking much time, Vijay ji, if you can just give the audience about a brief, small introduction about yourself, that would be better apart from me.
Thank you, Kapilji. Thank you, Cretum Advisory, for doing such wonderful job. And you are the main, pillar of promoting business between India and the rest of the world. And we, like as a chairman for Indo-European Business Forum, we started in 2007. And our job was also the same, to create an environment so that Indian businesses can do business abroad, particularly in Europe, and European companies can do business in India. And I've been in UK almost 20 years and been pretty active in UK India politics or business arena. And I was chairing this Indo-European Business Forum from 2007, and as you said, having multiple role for promoting business between UK and India or Europe and India. We had till now more than 50 events all over the world, including India, Europe, and in Parliament. And some of our advisors are really heavyweight. The richest man of UK, Mr. G.P. Hinduja, he is our advisor. And so we have multiple such people, Mr. Anil Agrawal of Vedanta, Mr. Pramod Mittal, so many of such guys whose leadership and guidance helps us to know what is happening, what is the pulse, and what is the feeling, what is the investment atmosphere between India and Europe. So as you know, we all are living in a different world in last 3 months. Nobody thought before March this could be the situation where we cannot get out of the houses, we cannot go to offices, we have to do everything remotely. And somehow we all survived. We came up with the technology, we came up with the ideas, leadership, and somehow things are still happening. Although things are difficult, when I see the pictures of poor people in India, waiting for the buses, waiting for the train, and so those are really bad. Even I sometimes feel it's a really pity that after 70 years India got independence, we are still into that state of affairs, and we feel really privileged sitting in London, sitting in Delhi, sitting in the major cities, sitting in our house in AC, air conditioner, and enjoying the life. Maybe a little bit pain, but not the pain what these people are going through. So I would give you a little bit of numbers between UK and India, particularly UK, because I have more knowledge, real practical knowledge of UK. Compared to, if I say widely, Europe is a place where we have good connect, where we have good partner, where many Indian companies are doing business with. But UK is a hub where I am personally based, and then have a good pulse of the market here. I would say from 2008 till 2018, roughly £50 billion worth of money has been invested from UK to India.
Okay.
And there are roughly 850 to 900 companies of Indian origin in UK. And they are one of the biggest employer in UK. And when I was a chairman for ABA at London Chamber of Commerce, I publicized a report, and it shows that the ethnic population, particularly Indian, Pakistani, Nepali, Bangladeshi, and Sri Lankan, they contribute 10 times to the UK economy compared to their other counterpart. So we, amongst all five, Indians are the foremost. They contribute maximum. And the people in India, those who directly come from India, some of the people who came from East Africa, they thrive very much here. If you go to major hotels, major restaurants, major clubs, or banquet hall, most of the monies are spent by Indian people here. And nobody thought 10 years ago that Tata would be the biggest employer in UK. Nobody thought 10 years ago that Hinduja brothers would be the richest man in UK, bigger than the Queen. Nobody thought Hinduja would be living in the house worth £500 million, the former palace before Buckingham Palace. So things have changed. Nobody thought in the current government where Boris Johnson is heading, nobody thought that finance minister will be Rishi Sunak of Indian origin, Preeti Patel of Indian origin becoming a home minister, Alok Sharma again a business secretary. So there are three very super important, very critical posts held by our Indian people, person of Indian origin. So this is a really proud moment for us. And we should certainly take advantage of it and enhance relationship between India and UK. And I guess this is the best time to do that under leadership of Prime Minister Modi whom luckily I had a privilege to meet him many times. And so he is doing a great job. He has created a role model in this COVID environment to show to the world that India can lead. Earlier, India was certainly thriving, but not leading. So under Prime Minister Modi, he is creating a leadership, thought leadership. He is creating a visionary leadership. He is giving the signal that India is not weak. Even the recent episode between China and India, or whatever, Nepal and India, he has shown the leadership and he made sure the things which are going wrong get be corrected and people have a confidence. So investors from UK and Europe, they have a full confidence in his leadership. Things are up and down because sometimes things are not in his control. There are so many international factors which comes into the picture. Like COVID has created a kind of pandemic internationally where things are, economy is not going as per our wish. Oil prices are going in different direction, although helping India in that front. But I would say long term for India, things are very, very positive. And under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and here under leadership of Boris Johnson, who is also big fan for India and he is big fan for Prime Minister Modi. And I think this is the best time if we work towards it, we can make
Yes.
the best relationship in the world between India and UK.
Yes.
So, coming back here, out of roughly 1,000 companies of Indian origin, those are in UK, they generate, I guess, they pay roughly more than 250 or 4 million pound of tax to the UK government, and they
Okay.
employ more than 100,000 people. And some of the industry they cover are technology, telecom, pharmaceutical, chemical, engineering, manufacturing, business services, automotive, IT, energy, financial services, media, and hospitality. And these are the sectors which are covered by Indian companies in UK. Roughly 30% is from technology and telecom, 15% from pharmaceutical and chemical, 14% from engineering and manufacturing, 11% from business services, 6% automotive, 5% energy, 4% financial services, 4% media, and 3% hospitality.
Okay.
This is to start with. Then I'm happy to take more questions from you, and then we progress as we.
Thank you. It was a very insightful knowledge which you provided, Vijay. So the first question which we have for you is, we have seen the past investment trend which have flown significantly into India as a FDI is mainly from US, Japan, UAE, and others. So investment into India by the UK have always been a low in comparison to others. So post the COVID pandemic and efforts which are being put up by the Indian government to attract fresh investment, do you see higher investment which are coming to India from UK and Europe, since these two regions you are mainly covering?
So I certainly feel, yes, there will be more money coming from UK and Europe together because one, people are a little bit disenchanted with China. They feel that, sometimes things can go wrong and because things are not very transparent there. So they are not sure whether, they will get the goods in time and they should have alternate strategy than China. But in India, we have to improve quite a lot, particularly on infrastructure side. Let's say you start to open a factory in India, then it takes a little bit time in getting the land, getting the people on board. Unlike China, because there is no rule of law, you can virtually bypass multiple law and then start doing things. In India, we follow the rule of law. We are the biggest democracy in the world, so we have our own challenges as well at that same time. So once let's say you manufacture in India, then getting a goods out of India from your factory till port, from port or from airport, then the time, the logistic. So we have to improve quite a lot. But certainly we are on the right track, and I am very, very confident that the more money will come from UK and Europe to India. In last 10 years, from 2000 to 2018, roughly FDI flow from UK to India was roughly $50 billion, which is a big amount. And
Yes.
it may go a little bit up and down, but certainly the trade and investment from UK and Europe to India will increase. And some of the sector, if you talk about which will electronic, you mentioned, so electronic would be certainly the area where money will come. solar, UK being very forefront of bringing money to India in terms of renewable energy. There are roughly 30 companies of Indian origin listed in London, and roughly the same companies have listed their masala bond. UK being the first, or you can say number one as a financial world in there's a big place to raise money. Although lately some of the real estate companies which raise money from London market, they spoiled the market. They have virtually duped the investor base. So there was a lack of trust, but this trust can be rebuilt. And so recently the company called Metra Energy, which I know the promoter very well, they have raised big money from London market, and they are investing in electronic vehicles, which is another very upcoming area. Electronic vehicles, there will be more money coming from from UK to India in electronic vehicles. Solar, defense is another thing. So there are multiple very, very large defense companies. They are also looking for, making a manufacturing hub, as Modi ji has a Made in India program. So,
Yes.
or, under that, they would come and they would manufacture in India. I am very bullish on that side.
Okay. So on that point, you mentioned about there is a electronic manufacturing which the companies are normally planning to come into India, and along with the renewable energy. In India, there are incentives which has been launched on specifically into the electronic sector. So that's one of the sector which government is also pushing by providing certain level of incentives of investing into India in terms of capital subsidy as well as production linked subsidy.
There is a company from UK which I am directly linked with called Adsun, ADSUN. So this group has a 3 plant in India. The one plant they are manufacturing LED lights. In another plant they are manufacturing LED TV, and the third plant they are manufacturing a tempered glass for mobile phone. Okay. That is the only company in India to manufacture in India. Otherwise, India imports all kind of a tempered glass. So our factories are based in Haryana. So we have made another application to government of Haryana to give some kind of incentive, so we can be making more investment. Roughly, the investor is from London, and they are thinking to bring more than $100 million to make further investment in this factory. So certainly, what we are requesting government at central level to put a little bit more, maybe import duty on import of this tempered glass, so that we can compete with other Chinese companies.
Okay. So I think
live deals which are directly I'm handling it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's great to get this kind of insight. Second, sir, question is that you being a chairman of the Indo-European Business Forum and also a board member of various other business forums which we discussed, what are the kind of queries which are coming from the members with regard to investment in India, including the sectors and a business model? So as you mentioned about there is likelihood of a time which with the business houses are conceptualizing, or they have a perception that it takes time from manufacturer to customs. So there are certain kind of business model like contract manufacturing, JVs, setting up of shared service center. So what do you see in terms of what kind of investments which are coming in which sector and business model which are being contemplated by the business houses which are members of your esteemed organization?
So virtually investment will come into every sector, but if you talk about currently we are, even including personally, I'm working on many distress deals, because as you know, in India, things went, maybe like previously, many Indian business houses have taken a loan left, right, center, and they could not sustain. So there are hundreds of thousands of companies went to NCLT. So now this is the best time to buy those companies from NCLT. As you can see, the yesterday interview of Gautam Adani ji, he said this is the best time to do invest in India. So now the companies from UK and fund from UK or European country and America, they are taking advantage of buying distressed companies in India. If you can see, Lakshmi Mittal ji is buying, SR, or Tata buying a Bhushan Steel, And even there is a fund from UK where again I am involved. They are involved in buying another steel company in India. So what people are doing, instead of going for a greenfield project, they are buying this distressed company at a penny. So this is the best time, and this will continue for many years, not now, because there are multiple distressed companies in India in every sector. Steel is one of them. Aluminium foil is another sector where my clients are buying many companies. Then the third sector, virtually in every sector, you can buy companies which are running, which has a good track record. But only thing was they were highly leveraged. So their interest cost was as high, so it was not making sense. Now banks are also ready to discuss. Sometimes banks they discuss directly. Sometimes they said go to NCLT and do the settlement at NCLT. Although the procedure at NCLT and others are postponed for the time being, but most of the fund and industrial houses, those who are sitting in UK and Europe, they are taking the position. They are analyzing those companies so that they can buy at a right price. They can have a running company rather than going for greenfield and investing 5 years to establish the business houses. They will have a team. They will have everything. Only thing they will they will change the management. They will change the leadership. They will reduce the debt cost. They will bring a fresh money. They will upgrade the technology. They will utilize all the best technology, AI, everything, and then go and turn around those companies. And in the next 5 years, doubling the EBITDA value, doubling the enterprise value of those companies. I think that is the future for next 5 years. If I would advise anyone, I would advise to go for this distressed company and then take an early advantage of that.
That's great. And in fact, if you see that, as we mentioned, it takes time to take approval. Even for a company who is settled in China and having a manufacturing, it takes time to start the operations from the land acquisition to everything. And this kind of model, which you just said, so it's more like a plug and play model, wherein you just need to improve the technology and start the operations from day one without waiting for any approvals from the government.
Correct. So one of my clients, I am helping him to create their own ARC in India, Assets Reconstruction Company, because he is going to make roughly $400-500 million of investment in next 4 or 5 years. So the thought is we can create our own ARC and route the money through own ARC. The same client is also trying to create a trading house, because these company which he is buying, the steel company, aluminum company, they need to have raw material. So he will create their own trading company to supply the raw material for them as well. So certainly, as I said, the opportunities are in every sector.
Yes, yes. So in continuation to this, is there any discussion on the cards wherein UK company are planning to shift or move manufacturing plants which are located in EU countries to other countries, including India?
So UK is not very advanced in I'm not using the right word, not advanced. I'm saying in manufacturing, UK is again compared to other countries, not very big in manufacturing. UK is the hub for service sector.
Yes.
So certainly they will create more, maybe back office in India. They will have the people of Indian origin, those who are highly, advanced in technology, financial services, engineering. They will try to utilize that help. And so certainly India will get an advantage of, those mindset. And,
yes.
But from manufacturing, yes, things will come to India, but selectively. Maybe the very high end of engineering, maybe, those things will certainly come to India. In aviation, in AI space, maybe, sports, maybe, those are the things will come. But manufacturing, it will be a little bit slow process. It cannot be saying that tomorrow 100 companies from UK going to India for manufacturing. That will be the slow process.
Okay. Okay. I think there are sectors which the government is expecting, specifically the pharmaceutical sector. And in fact, recently the ministry has opened also the arm FDI in the defense sector. So that's mainly the additional arms which India will probably expect from the overseas.
Yes. Yeah.
So as you might aware that the Honorable PM of India is creating opportunities for inviting investment in India by providing incentives or subsidy to various sectors, specifically the electronic sector. He has proposed to offer land twice the Luxembourg size to firms leaving China. In consideration to this, what are the expectations from Indian government from your platform to attract investment into India? So what are your expectations apart from just the land and other incentives?
So my request to Prime Minister of India and other people like you, those who are associated with to make things happen, to make the atmosphere to become to those who are a stakeholder. So the request is create a whole plug and play environment where if any company want to go to India, we virtually get them everything ready, and from the factory till the time logistic also has to be equally good, and then export as well, so that we not only target for Indian market, we create India as a base for manufacturing hub and then export. So I think if we create that environment, although we are progressing to do that, but if we can fasten that, then certainly it will happen. Like many mobile companies, those who are shifting their base from China to India, there will be multiple companies, those who will shift their base from China to India in electronic, in mobile, and in this sector, and including defense. So certainly things are on the card. People are analyzing this. Things are a little bit slow because of COVID. People are not working at their full capacity. People are working from home. So things will certainly happen. But at the same time, many companies are struggling in their own jurisdiction. Let's say companies SME sector, which plays a very, very crucial role in India and in UK and Europe. Those SME sector is struggling because for 3 months they could not sustain. They don't have any revenue. So how they pay their rent, how they look after their finances, even after not employing many people, but still they have their overheads. So they have to first sort out their own affair, then think to reduce cost. When they're thinking to reduce the cost, then they will think about India. They will think about India as a new market. They will think India as a manufacturing hub for exporting to other countries. So things are in pipeline. It will happen. Eventually, it's a matter of time.
That's correct. And in fact, when I was interviewing with Invest India team, so I came to know that in the last 5 years, that the 25% of the Indian FDI has come to the state of Maharashtra. And the reason behind that is the Maharashtra is one of the state which is providing the plug and play model to various companies. That exactly is which you just mentioned, which is the demand which India should fulfill apart from providing the incentives and other incentives like land and other tax incentives to the companies. So, given India is a position as the world third largest startup economy across the globe, so we talked about much about the big large size companies of investment. So what are the expectations from the startup in India, and are the investors looking for funding the startups after this COVID specifically? And if yes, then we surely like to understand the sectors you feel there are focus.
So I am very bullish on the startup. There is a startup venture in India called CAT, not CAT, sorry, VCAT,
Is that
Venture
right?
Capitalist. VCAT.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in VCAT is they call themselves the biggest venture capitalist association of India. I am their UK partner with JPIN. So we are helping them. They have created a chapter in UK. So
Okay.
I certainly see India is going to emerge as the world's biggest startup in the world. Not only not the third one, even the number one. But my view is different. My view is certainly within India there will be many foreign companies to support this startup. But my request to Indian startup is look towards the whole world. Go out, establish, because you once you have proven yourself, once you have a technology, once you have a thought, once you have artificial intelligence platform, you establish in other countries. Like I am advisor to government of Malta. Government of Malta offers money to this startup. Once these startup come, you can you can set up in those countries like Cyprus, you can set up in Malta, you can set up in Bulgaria, you can set up in UK. There are government ready to give you multiple incentive so that you capture the whole world, not only from India, from going out of the India as well. So certainly startup will shake in the whole world in every aspect. In because the startup have a wonderful thought, they have a new technology, new upbringing, new way of thinking, and that will attract all the, that will be very useful for even the old economy. So a startup is a new economy and which will take India forward. So I think Prime Minister Modi has certainly created a Startup India venture,
Yes.
which has created a thousand and thousand of new entrepreneurs, even the people with no background, with a little knowledge or little, you can say, experience. But if they have good thought, good entrepreneur skill, without fear, if they march ahead, then I think we are creating atmosphere. We are giving them a tool to lead the world, not only India, to lead the whole world. And you
Yes.
can see the business emirates like Ratan Tata ji or Narayan Murthy or the big stalwart
Yeah.
or Anand Mahindra, they all are in favor of startup because they know
Yes.
startup has no fear, no boundaries, and they can certainly create a value chain. They can create multiple unicorn or sunicorn, and so I think we should all certainly help them create an enabling environment to move ahead. I'm
Okay.
very bullish in this.
Great thoughts, sir. And I'm sure the startups will surely gain from this, your words. And in fact, when we talk about the Startup India under the leadership of Honorable PM that has been built up, so that something is actually booming up all the startup space into the country. And in fact, one of our team who is actually working and have worked and built the Asia's first valuation technology through the Investor Connect, wherein everyone do not have to depend upon any person. They directly go to the site and get the valuation done via the artificial intelligence. Nothing, no requirement of valuation. So they are actually creating a benchmark for all the investors. That if someone wants to take the investment, they should get the valuation done first through that website, so that a benchmark comes something to deal with the investors. So that's something which has been done by fundtq.com in India.
Very good. This is very, very good. Yes.
The last question which we are going to ask you, that what other opportunities you feel this new India can offer post-COVID, considering one of the largest consumer markets?
So I personally feel this COVID has given many lessons to learn. One, every country should be self-reliant. Now you can see we cannot get out of the houses. In London, people were stocking the toilet paper, tissue paper, kitchen towel, all those kind of things. And UK import everything virtually. So there was no stock in supermarket. Food, initially we used to go to Sainsbury, Tesco. There was no, most of the things were out of the stock. So if these kind of things happen, then how to survive? So firstly, we should have enough, like we should certainly develop the pharmaceutical, to make sure we are healthy. Like the US was relying on India to export of certain medicine. So I think certainly every country will start thinking to be on the self-reliant. As Modi ji
Yes.
has started Atmanirbhar program. Similarly, every country will think to create their own agriculture for the basic survival. Every country will think to create their own pharmaceutical and health wing so that in this environment we can survive. So all the basic necessity, we are back to basic. So we have to first look after the basic thing. We have to make sure, we don't completely dependent on other country where if thing goes wrong, because this virus which happened now, I think this will keep on coming back. This is not a one-time story.
Yes.
And it could be mischief of any country, but this mischief can be repeated multiple times and in a bigger scale. So certainly
Yes.
we have to be carefully, we have to carefully live. If the situation comes again and very severe, how to cope up, how to survive, how to live in the minimum, requirement, and how to create economy around us so that we are not starving, we are not, like doing things differently. Even the labor class in India, which have moved from cities to villages, they may not come back. They will think if we can earn the enough revenue in our village, why should we go back to the city? So certainly this has given a big lesson to learn for everyone, from the big investor to the small investor to the consumer, that we have to rethink so that we can live peacefully in COVID environment. If another pandemic comes, so we can sail through smoothly with less pain.
That's in fact this was the news which was seen by many published by many newspapers that since London is more an importing country, and so do you feel by this that there is likelihood of also the setting up of manufacturing facility in London after this environment to have a self-reliant sustainable model?
So certainly they would be doing, but how much they will be successful, we are not sure, because it is market driven, economy driven. Sometimes, let's say UK want to set up like for doing food, but the labor is so costly here, whether they will be able to sustain that model or not. So again, they have to be new thinking so that not only we become self-reliant, but we should be competitive as well. So
Yes.
so why European country and UK are thinking to do things in India, because they are not competitive. If you do things in UK, it's not competitive. So that's why we look for other country where we can go and get the thing done. So now in this one, they will be rethinking how to do that, but which is not easy because labor laws are more stringent. There are multiple kind of regulation which makes things difficult. And another thing, our Indian people are more industrious. We work 24 hours, 7 days a week. So that culture is not here.
Yes.
So that is also like a kind of disadvantage to European countries.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Vijayji, for the wonderful session and quite insightful session, I'll say, from the UK as well as the expectations from India. To just summarize everything that India is looking for investment not only into the manufacturing sector but also into the service sector. You very well said on the aspects of plug and play model which government should provide so that the companies are likely to come along with. You also mentioned about that acquisition of the companies at the right time by the investors from UK, so that they can also utilize the best synergies which are present in India and improve the technologies by investing more money. So that exactly. So thank you, Vijay, for giving us the insights and coming to this session. Considering this is our first session with you, and we'll be looking forward your time if you can spare in the near future to give more insights and what all the developments which are being done from UK and from your face that will surely help the persons or international audience, both countries, UK and India both.
Thank you, Kapilji, for arranging this, and I'm really grateful for every one of my well-wisher who has joined this to hear me out. And I'm not expert; I'm just giving you my practical view and what I feel, what I'm doing. It we are involved in multiple another new thing, which between UK and India, which is our kind of working place. So you will see more active from us between UK and India, more investment from UK to India, not only in the sector which you mentioned, there are many other things which I'm working on. So
Yes.
that will certainly come, and wish everyone a good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll be looking forward to see you more and work with you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.